It is great to have all of you here for back to school night. I'm not the person you likely sat down to hear talk, but my name is John Wilson. I'm the PTA president for here at Superior Elementary this year. And mainly just wanted to make you aware of a few things, and then I'm going to turn it over to my good buddy Jonathan. So, for starters, for those of you who have never heard of a PTA, the PTA is a parent-teacher organization, parent-teacher association. That's really, the whole purpose is raising money and doing activities to help support the community and ultimately help us build on what amazing stuff, honestly, Jonathan and his team have already done for Superior Elementary. So a lot of that takes the form of funding our paraprofessionals. So we raise a lot of money throughout the year that goes right back to the school, specifically in the form of that additional 2.5 staff members that really help each grade level have kind of a dedicated resource that they can have in the classroom and helping with students, doing breakout sessions, all of that. So we don't make that up, by the way. Like this is something where Jonathan and the teachers have told us repeatedly that this is the way the PTA can have the greatest impact. And ultimately, that's why we go ahead and fund those. And so ultimately, throughout the year, you're going to be hearing a lot from us about different fundraising goals and how we're tracking. Ultimately, this year, we're looking to raise $100,000 to help support SES. So it's an aggressive goal. We all feel like the weight of it as school's getting underway here, but ultimately feel like we can achieve that, and that it can have a dramatic impact on this amazing place. So I also wanted to just make a call out for Fall Fling. These are available at the PTA table. You can take one. The Fall Fling is coming back. It was a Superior tradition and paused briefly for COVID. And now we're bringing it back. So this is the first year since 2019 that we will have a Fall Fling. We're super excited about it. But the number of volunteers that it takes to put on a fall carnival is extensive. And so if you can, even if it's just for 30 minutes or an hour of your time that day, we would so appreciate it. Lots of great events. This is really just a community event. We really want a chance for everyone to experience this amazing place more throughout the year. And post-COVID, we're able to do that. So. More information obviously available on the PTA website and also at the PTA table where I will be afterward on talking. So, alrighty. So with that, I do want to quickly turn it over to Miriam.
It's okay.
Oh, we're good. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. So I do just want to call out and remind me of the date, Vanessa? For the, what?
Of what?
Of the meeting, the DE.
It's Wednesday, September 6th, 6 to 7 at the community center, DEI committee meeting.
Thank you. So as part of our PTA, we have a DEI committee that has done amazing work for this school over the last several years. The DEI committee is kicking off that work September 6th. September 6th, thank you. So please, if you would like to get involved, please do. They have done incredible work and we're excited to build upon it this year. So thank you. And now, Jonathan.
Thank you, President Wilson. Welcome and thank you for coming tonight to Back to School Night. I'm Principal Jonathan Stein. This is my second year here and my 6th year overall as principal. And parents and family members here, I just have to say we're all really lucky to be part of this amazing community and this amazing staff. And we just are ecstatic about how kids have started this year. Oh my gosh, it's been just an amazing start to the year because our students are just so ready and doing so many fantastic things, and it's been really, really an honor to start the year off with all of you, and thank you already for your support. And what I wanted to just share tonight is just a little bit about who we are, a little bit about why I love being a principal here, and a little bit about our collaborative team approach and how we support our kids. So at the beginning of the year with teachers, right? When you guys were still in summer break. We thought about a couple different ways of how to just open up the school year that would be all about the idea of a culture of where everybody feels like they matter. And we really wanted to make sure that we're modeling that for kids, that we're modeling that for families, we're modeling that for our community. And you know what, we have so many amazing resources here, and so one of the things that we really wanted to build upon was just the culture of how wonderful, like kids love to read here, kids love to go into the library, and who better than to talk about a culture of mattering through books than Miss Tracy Huffman, right? And so, just want to give credit to Tracy. Said, let me think about like a book that might tie us all together for our year, and this is the one. So, if you've heard about this awesome author, we can all read it a million times and get a lot out of it, I promise you. There's jokes for adults in there too that kids just don't know about yet. But we really like the theme of, woo-hoo, you're doing great. And anytime we're in classrooms, we're in this area with a presentation, and we're seeing kids do fabulous things, we want to call that out. We want to call it out by their name, because that they're known. We want to call out that specific thing that they're doing really well, because that means that they really matter, and it just inspires more great habits of excellence for kids and their friends to catch on to. And so this was just a great way to start the year. And so you'll see a lot of these posters of like different sayings and things like that with different animals that I forced teachers to create, and they did a great job. If they didn't like that, by the way, or you don't like anything I say tonight, I'll be in the dunk tank for the Superior Chili Cook-Off, September 9th. I won't tell you the time. Okay, so another thing I just wanted to think about too is that idea of leading well, and what does that mean for all of us? This speaks a lot to like who I am and my core values, and also to our district's mission and vision this year. And so one of the things that we talk about in district meetings is just about this idea of leading with our head and our hearts. And this year we're really kind of leading into that a little bit more in terms of what does it really mean to be leading well? So being well prepared, being well versed in what we're doing, making sure that our kids feel well known and well supported. And that's kind of really the umbrella of everything that we're going to be doing thematically this year. And this just kind of ties up like a little bit about the places you see that work, right? So if you're a new parent, how many people are new parents to Superior for this year, by the way? And welcome, very much welcome to all of you. And then we have a lot of returning vets all around you that can tell you all kinds of things about our school too, and I encourage you to do that. But these are the ways that we come around and support kids. It's a very supportive climate here. So when our counselor, Miss Ashley Freedy, I lean on her, she's amazing with students. Mr. Brian Keller, our Dean of Students. The three of us are like a very tight team already this year, because we know that if a kid is having some sort of struggle or some sort of thing that just need to talk about outside of the classroom privately, I know that there's many other trusted adults those kids have to find and go to, and just relying on that and building that group of people for all of our kids, because that's the most important to that sense of mattering and belonging. The next thing I just wanted to share with you quickly is, so that's me and my wife, and then in the middle is my 15-year-old that struggling to learn how to drive, but we'll get there, okay? And leading and like doing driving well with my kid, that's a struggle for me too, but I'll get there. But I kind of live this way, like leading well, living well, and just having that kind of balance life is like really critical for me, and something I like to foster and model for our kids and our staff. It's just really important to have that balance of ideas, and if you are struggling on something or meeting a challenge, how can you take on that challenge in a positive way and try to meet the bar and get past that bar, because that's the part of life that it always happens. And so a couple things just to share, whether you're returning or new to our school. I just want to highlight, this is not everything, but this is a few things I wanted just to highlight that are new this year. Last year we were a National Blue Ribbon award-winning school, so now we're switching colors to a green typo award, but we are partnering with EcoCycle and we are launching to be one of BVSD's Green Star schools. So we will have in September EcoCycle staff coming to talk to all of our students just about what we can learn about composting, what we can learn about using reusable plates and things like that, how to be stewards of our environment. So they'll be coming and talk to student groups, talk to student council. Kindergarten will also be involved in that in kindergarten classrooms only, so they have that way of just building on that culture. We just heard from John Wilson, our new PTA board president. We're really excited to bring back some things like the ball flame. Breakfast and lunch are free all year, and with that, breakfast is kind of a new service that we're providing here for students, and that starts at 7:45 in the cafeteria each morning. And your students will be welcomed by Mr. Keller there, who's helping us make that possible. So that is great. It is free all year. Take advantage of it. It's wonderful. Lunches used to be only about 20 minutes in length, and now they're 25 minutes in length. We really, just to kind of think about that, we still kept all recesses to the same amount, 20 minutes, and we just expanded that time. It's just kids need more time to eat. And it's just about wellness, right? It's just about that wellness for kids and eating well and modeling that, so that's been great. Also, we're really kind of stamping this idea of moving away from any food reward in any classroom in our school. And that's just a policy in concert with our RNs at BVSD, but it's also like just a lot of different ways that we want to honor and recognize kids, but there's different ways to do that away from food, and that really keeps everybody safe, knowing that there's just constant some allergy concerns and different things for kids. And that doesn't need to be a worry that you guys have as parents during the day. And what we're going to be talking about a little bit more here is, what we're really excited about is a couple things here is, we have really started the year off with something kind of new. You'll see some of these posters around the school about helping kids understand the behavioral expectations in any learning space that they're in. And so the third day of school, which was a Friday, we had our first all-school assembly, not yet with kindergarten. We're doing a separate show for all the kindergartners before they come into the gym with all of us. It's pretty exciting, and we just got to warm them up that way. So if your kids in 1st through 5th grade might have heard about a new band called the Smashing Stallions, the 3 of us were in it, and it was my first time ever playing drums, and it might not be the last I heard, but what we try to do with that is bring the student body together collectively to have that spirit of unity, and bringing together about that place that all students can look around and say, we're all together here at Superior, we're a culture that matters, we all matter, we all have something that takes stake in that. And what we're doing this year is we're looking for students to be those student rock stars of the month. So we're going to be looking at focusing on respect, for example, and catching kids going above and beyond about being respectful to other peers, to adults, to anyone. Call us if they're really respectful at home, that could help, right? But we want to really call those out, and every month those students will be recognized through announcements at these assemblies. What they get to do is come on stage and play some cool games with staff, which is really fun, and you'll see a picture of that in a minute. And it just brings about that culture that spreads positively through all students, and when the student body takes hold of that, like magic just really happens. Different friendships happen, and that ownership that we're seeing that students take responsibility has already been above the clip that we saw a year ago, so we're really excited about that work. We also know that we have a climate and culture here at Superior of high academic excellence, which we're incredibly proud of. And some data that will come live soon will kind of show you that our achievement is remaining extremely high, but what we're really excited about is we were still able to grow in state testing by 10% from showing growth. And that's what really matters, is all kids to grow, and we're not there yet until we're seeing that fantastic growth from every single child. So if you know something about me, I played competitive tennis, I'm now a competitive pickleball player, for better or for worse maybe, but I also have that drive of we're not done yet with our work until every kid is meeting that bar and seeing that they can exceed and go beyond and be really excited about that. So with that, we have some advanced math support that's across the school. We're starting that slowly in 4th and 5th grade, and that in October will then expand through K-5. So we're able to expand some FTE to allow that, because we have that culture that's saying that our kids are very much ready for more accelerated mathematics, and we wanted to be able to provide that. And also, in our ever-changing world, we also know that safety and security is very important to all of us. And so some changes that have come about through the summer of just the way that we do, from like a safety drill or just any operational thing, that we want to make sure that our families are very aware of that, and how we practice those things in school, and also having a balance of what that means. One of the research will also say that the big part of that is climate and culture. Having a positive climate and culture and a place where all kids have a trusted adult to go to is the #1 deterrent from violence, from other acts that might contribute to something really negative in the community. But I do want to make sure that you know that that's coming soon in terms of our safety and security team from the district will be here leading us through what those protocols are, and just sharing with you what that looks like this year so that parents can be just more aligned and ready for that. Just when we practice those things, you know what our students are involved in it. And earlier this year, our staff went to this training that was really powerful by Zach Mercurio. And this kind of just gets back to like, what do I mean by that idea of that culture of mattering? And this is exactly what we want to try to do for everybody in our community, right? And so it's important to feel noticed, right? So some different ways of like checking in with people, like sharing their interests, remembering personal details, checking in, things like that. I think our team models that really well for one another. And we want to make sure that we're expanding that to our students. So when we're asking students questions, it helps us think about how do we ask a question that really gets a little bit more out of that student, that makes them come back and talk about something more. I had a really cool, quick conversation with a student about sneakers. Just kind of came up, like him and his dad are sneaker collectors. So are me and my dad. Kind of a cool coincidence, but we wouldn't have known that if we didn't have that culture of mattering. So that notice piece, that affirming piece, and then that needs piece is just really critical to how we're continuing to grow in an inclusive culture here. And I'll share these slides with all of you, but I thought this was just a really quintessential piece to share about what that culture of mattering really looks like and why we value that so much. And with that, this is critically important as well, right? So being trauma informed, knowing that we are still a community that has some trauma from COVID, from the Marshall fires, from all kinds of things in life that come at us all the time. And so how do we make sure that we're providing that safety and that trust? And that just doesn't happen from one person. That is a collective approach here at Superior. So I just want you as parents to know that. Right? We talk about this. This is like a core value in our staff, and this really is something our staff does exceptionally well. And sometimes what's tricky is sometimes kids won't always share out right away in the school day. Please reach out to any of us so that we can know what's going on, so we can help capture that and find a space to talk to your kids about it. But this part is really another, like a big success piece right here, right? And then cultural, historical, gender issues, like making sure that we're a very inclusive environment, and also making sure that we're empowering the voice of our kids, families, and helping our community grow and always get better at what we can do. So just to make our goals known this year, like explicitly, like how can you help as a parent? What are we working on this year? Like we are still achieving at a high rate, and there's more room to grow in literacy, so we're going to still focus that reading and writing across content areas is going to be a focus for our school. We're going to be continuing to work on maximizing supports, so it's always triangular, it's multiple people. I love that about our team, and I love that about our team because we're collaborating easily, and it just gives kids a good lifeline of we're a team. We can solve problems. We can do that. Collaboration and just being a really inclusive community. So if you're I just wanted to spell those out about what are we doing to keep on getting better this year. These are some of the places that we're going to continue to focus our work and build upon that. There we go. And if you want to quiz your kids later, you know, we've been talking a lot about this with all students. So respect, acceptance, responsibility, that's our rock and roll behavior. And we are having constant conversations about what this means in all different areas of our school and how we see that our students can be successful and achievers in this work, so they can be those star students and be recognized for that, which has been really powerful so far. Kids have really been enjoying that. Teachers have really enjoyed that too, because we're a united front in what that behavior looks like, and so it's a shared effort of keeping kids safe and thriving in their learning spaces. And you'll see this is like our whole matrix about what do we expect from our kids behaviorally and how do they know. So we want to make sure it's very visual for our kids, and we want to make sure it's very known for our kids, so there's a lot of reteaching that goes on. Just a quick example, elementary school is a place for kids to make mistakes. I tell kids that all the time. I make a million of them because I get to as a principal. There's so many things that happen. And then what do we do? We reteach, we talk, we follow up, we coach, we find a trusted adult that's going to support them to do better next time. And so that's just that restorative approach built in. But one of the biggest parts of that first is, what is the expectation? And so we're just very clear about those expectations. Okay, now listen. I'm not the only competitive person on our staff, I found out, okay? So this is just a great picture that Ryan captured from our first assembly of the year, just to give you a little taste of like what these assemblies are. They have a little bit of everything in them, and one of the things was kids got to come up and play these little games, and they got to learn how competitive some of our staff are, but that's okay. But it was also like this idea, we're all unified, we're celebrating, we're having some fun, and we have a focus on that collective power of great behavior means excellence. And so every month we're going to be doing these just to make sure that we can continue to make sure that kids feel valued and known and heard and get to share these wonderful experiences. But that was just a great screenshot of our teachers love to have fun. It's an elementary school. We should be having a lot of fun here. And those assemblies are a big part of our culture, and we'll continue to help elevate that.
Hi guys.
Yes.
Really quick here, do you mind? Okay, so I see a lot of familiar faces, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually Preeti. I'm our school counselor. And this has been years in the making for us of revamping as a staff, and our bullying prevention team got to get together and really hone down this work last year. So we have been amping this up. And something I just want to add that's really cool with Mr. Keller over here and I are partnering to bring student leaders into this work. So that's an opportunity. If you have 4th and 5th grade students, they got to apply to help us with assemblies, all sorts of events throughout the school year. So we're still in the works of moving now to that action phase with them, but we're trying to also amp up how do we get kids really excited about doing the right thing, because they are most of the time. Right? So that's another kind of coming attraction, is we're going to have more student leaders in this work too.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Ryan Keller. He's been really great at helping us get our climate and culture around behavior expectations off up to a great start this year. And he's been just a really great collaborator with our kids so far. So, Mr. Ryan Keller.
Evening, how's everyone doing? I moved from Kansas City about a year ago, so I'm a Chiefs and Cardinals fan. I'm going to have to apologize for that, but I do absolutely love the community here. I was in Jeffco last year, and I've been in elementary education for 18 years. And my parents are educators, and I just absolutely love finding a community where you can make a family. Every single person I talk to, whenever I see a parent, that's the best thing about Superior. They all have the exact same answer within a second, and it's community. So very, very proud to be a part of it. Also very excited whenever a student comes up and says, "What's a dean?" I try to explain what I do to them for a little bit, and then I just say I'm a vice principal. And they understand that, so let's just go with that. Back in Missouri, I was in an elementary that was very much like family, and we accomplished a lot of things. At the district level, I've spoken on trauma-informed schools, at the state level, won national state level award for our PBS program, so very excited we're ramping that up. And won a couple of national awards for my anti-bullying program I created, so definitely excited to be part of the BVSD team also. We are bringing back assemblies. We're going to have a lot of fun at them. Every month we'll have a monthly focus, and students will be rewarded and acknowledged for that, and we'll be inviting the community and families to come to those assemblies. And I'll also be on a YouTube channel that I've created. So you'll be able to see what's happening throughout the year by checking in that YouTube channel. Every month there'll be a highlight of what's happening really fun at the school. So yeah, it's very nice to be a part of this amazing district, and thank you for your time.
And so with that, I want to just first of all thank you. I am ecstatic about how we're opening the school year, and I know there's many celebrations for your kids to come throughout this school year. And I also want to hear from you about how we're doing. We don't rest on just being good at what we do. We want to be stellar at what we do, because your kids are that important to us. So if you click on that QR code, I'll share the slides out too, but it's just a really quick, what's going well, what can we do better, and any additional comments. So it's very fast, but it just helps us and our team just continue to excel and know what that is, and celebrate the good things, look at the opportunities to keep getting better. But I just want to say thank you. I'm ecstatic about the year. We have a wonderful, wonderful staff and a great community. And so thank you again, and have a great rest of your evening.